Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot.
ಅವಿನಾಶ್ ಪ್ರಭು ಒಂದು ವಾರ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ?
Is muted.
ಅವಿನಾಶ್ ಪ್ರಭು, ಸಾರಿ, you are not there for a week.
ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, so busy ಇದ್ದೆ.
Yeah. Welcome back. Okay, so we'll start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamastoke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Chaitanyamishwaram Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumritamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarani Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome you for Bhagavatam study. So, reading from Canto 2, chapter 1, text 8. Can somebody read? Correct, no? 8, right, no?
Yes, Prabhuji. It's allocated to me. I shall read.
Yeah, please.
Canto 2, chapter 1, text 8. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Aditavan Dvaparadau Pituhu Dvaipayanat Aham. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Right.
At the end of the Dwapara Yuga, I studied this great supplement of Vedic literature named Srimad Bhagavatam, which is equal to all the Vedas from my father Srila Dvaipayana Vyasadeva. Purport. The statement made by Srila Sukadev Goswami that the topmost transcendentalist, who is beyond the jurisdiction of regulations and restrictions, mainly takes to the task of hearing about and glorifying the personality of Godhead, is verified by his personal example. Sukadeva Goswami, being a recognized liberated soul and the topmost transcendentalist, was accepted by all of the topmost sages present in the meeting during the last 7 days of Maharaja Parikshit. He cites from the example of his life that he himself was attracted by the transcendental activities of the Lord, and he studied Srimad Bhagavatam from his great father, Sri Dvaipayana Vyasadeva. Srimad Bhagavatam, or for that matter, any other scientific literature cannot be studied at home by one's own intellectual capacity. Medical books of anatomy or physiology are available in the market, but no one can become a qualified medical practitioner simply by reading such books at home. One has to be admitted to the medical college and study the books under the guidance of learned professors. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam, the postgraduate study of the science of Godhead, can only be learned by studying it at the feet of a realized soul like Srila Vyasadeva. Although Sukadeva Goswami was a liberated soul from the very day of his birth, he still had to take lessons of Srimad Bhagavatam from his great father Vyasadeva, who compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam under the instruction of another great soul, Sri Narada Muni. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed a learned Brahmana to study Srimad Bhagavatam from a personal Bhagavata. Srimad Bhagavatam is based on the transcendental name, form, attributes, pastimes, entourage and variegatedness of the Supreme Person, and it is spoken by the incarnation of the personality of Godhead, Srila Vyasadeva. Pastimes of the Lord are executed in cooperation with his pure devotees, and consequently, historical incidences are mentioned in this great literature because they are related to Krishna. It is called Brahma Samhitam because it is the sound representative of Lord Krishna, like the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the sound incarnation of the Lord because it is spoken by the Supreme Lord. And Srimad Bhagavatam is the sound representative of the Lord because it was spoken by the incarnation of the Lord about the activities of the Lord. As stated in the beginning of this book, it is essence of the Vedic desire tree and the natural commentation on the Brahma Sutras, the topmost philosophical thesis on the subject matter of Brahman. Vyasadeva appeared at the end of Dwapara Yuga as the son of Satyavati, and therefore the word Dwapara Adau, or the beginning of the Dwapara Yuga, in this context means just prior to the beginning of the Kali Yuga. The logic of the statement, according to Srila Jiva Goswami, is comparable to that of calling the upper portion of the tree the beginning. The root of the tree is the beginning of the tree, but in common knowledge, the upper portion of the tree is first seen in the way the end of the tree is accepted as its beginning. Hare Krishna. Guruji.
Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai. So, Sukadeva Goswami is saying this at the end of Dwapara Yuga, I studied this great supplement of Vedic literature named Srimad Bhagavatam, which is equal to all the Vedas from my father, Srila Dvaipayana Vyasadeva. So, we all know the pastimes like as soon as Sukadeva Goswami appeared, because he stayed in his mother's womb for 16 years. He was not willing to come out. Vyasadeva was requesting, please come out. But he was saying, no, material world is so dangerous, I'll not come out. Then Vyasa asked, what should I do? Then Sukadeva Goswami says that if Krishna gives assurance that Maya cannot touch me, then I'll come. So Vyasadeva had to literally beg Krishna, please tell my son to come out. Then Supreme Lord Krishna himself comes and request Sukadeva Goswami, you come out. You don't worry, the material world cannot disturb you. He comes out, start walking. So, he comes out like a 16 years old boy. So immediately start walking. So Vyasadeva was kind of confused. My son just appeared. Where are you going? Wait. Putra. He is calling, and whereas Sukadeva Goswami walking. So immediately what Vyasa did that he asked some of his disciples, go front and as a woodcutters, the kind of in the forest, and recites Bhagavatam sloka. So Sukadeva Goswami walking. These woodcutters were reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. When he heard Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami turned back. Who is this? Who is reciting Bhagavatam? Because till then he has not heard. He has heard when he was in the womb of his mother. So then he went and asked the woodcutters, where did you learn this? You are ordinary woodcutter. You are reciting Bhagavatam. Yes, they said, our guru is Vyasadeva. If you are interested to go, your own father. Then he comes back. Then Vyasa instructs Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's what Sukadeva Goswami is saying, that I studied from Bhagavatam Vyasadeva. Srila Prabhupada says here, the statement made by Srila Sukadeva Goswami, the topmost transcendentalist, who is beyond the jurisdiction of regulations, restrictions, mainly, sorry. Takes the task of hearing about and glorifying Supreme Personality Godhead. The topmost transcendentalist, they do that, hearing and glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam. So the meaning is that every one of us, our topmost task is to hear and glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the topmost business. All other work is secondary. Hearing Bhagavatam, speaking about Bhagavatam is the topmost activities. people may say that, oh, if that's the case, how do I belly can be filled? Where do I get money? Who will take care of my children? Who will take care of my family? What happens to business? Everything will happen. Krishna feeds the smallest ant, the biggest elephant. He arranges. So working hard is not the solution. Yes, grahasthas should do their job, do their prescribed duty. Doesn't mean that we should escape or we should be kind of, run away from the responsibility. But whatever work we're doing, yoginam observation, he says, you mat gatendra atmanaha. He says, you always think about me and do your work. Similarly, we should always keep glorifying the Lord, keep hearing about the glories of the Lord. That's the topmost. So Prabhupada says the topmost sages present in the meeting during the last 7 days of Maharaj Parishit. So that story also, we know that Parishit Maharaj comes to the bank of Ganga. All the great sages assembled, including Narada, Vyasa, and there comes Sukadeva Goswami. They all get up and give place to Sukadeva Goswami. So they consider Sukadeva Goswami is the topmost person. So they all respect him. So Prabhupada says that if you want to study Bhagavatam, you should go under a devotee or guru who comes in the disciple succession, like from Vyasadeva succession. That's why any Bhagavata speaker sits on Vyasasana. That place is called Vyasasana. We are representing Vyasadeva. So only with that we can speak Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada gives example, any medical student, if you want to be a doctor, you should work under a doctor. If a lawyer want to be expert lawyer, he should work under a lawyer. Similarly, if anyone want to study scriptures or about the Lord, he should serve under a devotee. Generally, anything else we need a teacher, but for talk about spirituality, we don't need teacher. Everybody can speak whatever they want. That's not Supreme Lord Krishna himself accepted Sandipana Muni as his guru. Supreme Lord Sri Ramchandra accepted Vasishtha as his guru. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted his guru. So what is the problem with us? But the mundane or so-called less intelligent people in the material world, they think that for spirituality, no guru required, no teacher required. Everybody can do. Now Google is there, ChatGPT is there. They can get all the information. That's why Prabhupada says that Srimad Bhagavatam is a postgraduate study of the science of Godhead, can only be learned by studying at the feet of realized soul, like Srila Vyasadeva, or the person who is the disciplic succession of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Vyasadeva. So Prabhupada also says that, and we should study from a person Bhagavatam. There's a book Bhagavatam, person Bhagavatam. Who is person Bhagavatam? Person Bhagavatam is a person who studied Bhagavatam and practices that in his life. His life is all about Bhagavatam. He studied and he practices that. So that's why Prabhupada is saying here that the Bhagavatam is the sound representation of the Supreme Lord. Bhagavad Gita spoken by the Lord, whereas Bhagavatam about the Lord spoken by the devotees. The sound representation of the devotees are about the Supreme Lord. Those Prabhupada says they are spoken by the incarnation of the Lord about the activities of Lord. There are a lot of pastimes mentioned Bhagavatam about Supreme Lord, about his devotees. There's so many devotees, like whereas Dhruva Maharaj or Prahlad Maharaj or Gopis or Chitraketu or Lord Shiva, Brahma, Narada, Yudhishthira, all these devotees pastime is, comes in Bhagavatam. There are plenty of stories, whether Navayogendras, Prachetas, all this comes in the Bhagavatam. So they are all the great devotees of the Lord. So here Prabhupada says the logic of this statement according to Srila Jiva Goswami is comparable to that of calling upper portion of the tree and the beginning. So the given logic is that when the tree is there, we say that is the top. The top of the tree is the top. But that is not the beginning. Beginning is the root. So that is the point Prabhupada is saying that the root of the tree is the beginning, whereas the top is there. But actually the root is, the beginning is below. So that's why Prabhupada says that here, in that way, the end of the tree is accepted at the beginning. So that way, the end itself is also beginning. So This is what is. Now, devotees assembled here. Everybody knows Srila Jiva Goswami. Anybody doesn't know about Jiva Goswami, please unmute and say yes. Or if you want to talk about Srila Jiva Goswami.
Don't know, Prabhu.
Okay. So there are 6 Goswamis. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's the first disciples, Rupa, Sanatana, Raghunath Dasa, Raghunatha Bhatta, Gopala Bhatta, and Jiva Goswami. The Rupa and Sanatana, 2 brothers, they are the one first surrendered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kind of instructed them, given them knowledge, and then requested them to go to Vrindavan and excavate, find the temples or the holy dhams of Krishna. Because over a period in Vrindavan, so many temples were destroyed. So many temples spoiled by the Mughals and Britishers, not Britishers, actually Mughals and other. So mainly, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kind of requested them that you go and find out the place and reconstruct. So Rupa and Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they came, they built the temples, they found the place, they built the temple. Then Raghunath Das comes. Raghunath Das, again a son of a great Jamindar. He comes, surrenders to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Through Nityananda Prabhu, the Panihati festival happens. So that way he joins the Shat Goswamis. Raghunath Bhatta also comes. Gopala Bhatta comes. Gopala Bhatta from South India, near Srirangam. Then the Rupa and Sanatana's another brother. Here, because Rupa and Sanatana did not marry, the another brother was married. His son was the Jiva Goswami, the Rupa Sanatana's nephew. So he was a great scholar, even much more than Rupa and Sanatana, one respective. But of course, he always thinks that he is very low in front of them. So such the great scholar is Jiva Goswami. So Jiva Goswami is considered one of the topmost scholar, and who has written a lot of books also about the devotion service to the Lord. And that Jiva Goswami is giving the commentary here. Srila Prabhupada generally gives reference from Jiva Goswami's commentaries. Hare Krishna. Hope that clarifies. Okay, we'll read the next one, Stoka.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
I am allocated main 2.1.9 Srimad Bhagavatam. Parishnita api nairgune uttama shloka lilaya grihita cheta rajarse akyanam yat adityavan. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ke Jai.
Right.
Translation. O saintly king, I was certainly situated perfectly in transcendence, yet I was still attracted by the delineation of pastimes of the Lord, who is described by enlightened verses. Purport. The absolute truth is realized as the impersonal Brahman at the first instance by the philosophical speculation and later as the supersoul by further progress of transcendental knowledge. But if by the grace of the Lord an impersonalist is enlightened by the superior statements of Srimad Bhagavatam, he is also converted into a transcendental devotee of the personality of Godhead. With a poor fund of knowledge, we cannot adjust to the idea of personality of the absolute truth, and the personal activities of the Lord are deplored by the less intelligent impersonalists, but reasons and arguments together with the transcendental process of approaching the absolute truth help even the staunch impersonalist to become attracted by the personal activities of the Lord. A person like Sukadeva Goswami cannot be attracted by any mundane activity, but when such a devotee is convinced by a superior method, he is certainly attracted by the transcendental activities of the Lord. The Lord is transcendental, as are his activities. He is neither inactive nor impersonal. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So Sukadeva Goswami is saying this. O saintly king, so he is addressing Parishit Maharaj, saintly king. I was certainly situated perfectly in transcendence. Transcendent means beyond three modes. Goodness, no. Beyond that, Shuddha Sattva. No, Tamoguna, Rajoguna, no. Even goodness beyond that. He was in that pure state. Yet I was still attracted the delineation of pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So that Lord's pastimes, even the attracted the Paramhamsas, the pure devotees, they are also attracted. And every one of us, there is nobody exempt who was not interested in hearing the glories of the Lord. So he says, who is described in the enlightened verses? Uttama Sloka. So Prabhupada says, here says, he is also converted into transcendental devotee of the Supreme Personality Godhead just by hearing the pastime of the Supreme Lord through the Bhagavatam, the pages of Bhagavatam. So with the who are fond of knowledge, we cannot adjust the idea of personality, absolute and personal activities. So Krishna is a person. He's not imperson. Krishna is not the kind of without body. He is a person, like all of us. We have a body. We are person. Similarly, Krishna is also person. But difference is that his body and he, there's no difference. Whereas our body and us, there's a difference. Because we means Atma, our body is body, whereas Krishna is the same. So Prabhupada says that the reasons and arguments together with the transcendental process of approaching the absolute truth can one help staunch impersonalist to become a attractive personalist. Even the staunch impersonalist, just by hearing Bhagavatam, he can be converted into personalist or the strong devotees of the Lord, Supreme Lord. So, but when such a devotee is convinced by the superior method, what is superior method? Superior method is hearing the glories of the Lord. That is a superior method. And he is certainly attracted by the transcendental activities of the Lord. The Lord is transcendental as his activities. He is neither inactive nor impersonal. So this is another. Like every jiva is not inactive. Every jiva is active. Atma cannot be inactive. Atma is always active. Similarly, Krishna is not inactive because our Shakti, our power comes from Krishna. He is the source. When he is active, how can we be inactive? So at the same time, he is not impersonal. Okay, so we'll read one more sloka before we end. Who is assigned?
Uma Shankar
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Good.
Tad aham te vidashyami mahapaurishiko bhavan yashya srada datam asu ashayan mukunde mati sati. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. That very Srimad Bhagavatam I shall recite before you because you are the most sincere devotee of Lord Krishna, one who gives full attention and respect to hearing Srimad Bhagavatam achieves unflinching faith in the Supreme Lord, the giver of salvation. Purport. Srimad Bhagavatam recognized Vedic wisdom and the system of receiving Vedic knowledge is called Avaroha Panta, or the process of receiving transcendental knowledge through bona fide disciplic succession. For advancement of material knowledge, there is a need for personal ability and researching aptitude. But in the case of spiritual knowledge, all progress depends more or less on the mercy of the spiritual master. The spiritual master must be satisfied with the disciple. Only then is knowledge automatically manifest before the student of spiritual science. The process should not, however, be misunderstood to be something like magical feats, whereby the spiritual master acts like a magician and injects spiritual knowledge into his disciple, as if surcharging him with a electrical current. The bona fide spiritual master reasonably explains everything to the disciple on the authorities of Vedic wisdom. The disciple can receive such teachings not exactly intellectually but by submissive inquiries and a service attitude. The idea is that both the spiritual master and the disciple must be bona fide. In this case, the spiritual master Sukadeva Goswami is ready to recite exactly what he has learned from his great father Srila Vyasadeva. And the disciple Maharaja Parikshit is a great devotee of Lord Krishna. A devotee of Lord Krishna is he who believes sincerely that by becoming a devotee of the Lord, one must fully equipped with everything spiritual. The teaching is imparted by the Lord Himself in the pages of the Bhagavad Gita, in which it is clearly described that the Lord Sri Krishna is everything, and that to surrender into Him solely and wholly makes one the most perfect pious man. This unflinching faith in Lord Krishna prepares one to become a student of Srimad Bhagavatam, and one who hears Srimad Bhagavatam from a devotee like Sukadeva Goswami is sure to attain salvation at the end, as Maharaja Parikshit did. The professional reciter of Srimad Bhagavatam and the pseudo devotees whose faith is based on one week's hearing are different from Sukadeva Goswami and Maharaja Parikshit. Srila Vyasadeva explained Srimad Bhagavatam unto Sukadeva Goswami from the very beginning of the Janmadi Ashya verse. And so Sukadeva Goswami also explained it to the king. Lord Krishna is described as the Mahapurusha in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, in his devotional future as God, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord Krishna himself in his devotional attitude, descended to the earth to bestow special favors upon the fallen souls of this Kali, age of Kali. There are two verses particularly suitable to offer as prayers to this Mahapurusha, future of Lord Krishna. Deyam sada paribhava gnanam abishtadoham tirthaspadam shiva vrichinutam saranyam bhratayarti ham pranata pala bhavadi potam vande mahapurusha te charanarevindam taktva sudustarja सृपिष्ट राज्य लक्ष्मम धर्मिष्ठ आर्य वाचश यत आगत आर्ना अरण्यम माया मृगम दायित्ये श्रितम अनवदाद सॉरी अन अन्वदा अन्वदावाद वंदे महापुरुष ते चरणरविंदम. In other words, Purusha means the enjoyer and the Mahapurusha means the supreme enjoyer or the supreme personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. One who deserves to approach the supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, is called the Mahapurusha. Anyone who hears Mahabhagavatam attentively from its bona fide reciter is sure to become a sincere devotee of the Lord, who is able to award liberation. There was none so attentive as Maharaja Parikshit in the matter of hearing Bhagavatam. and there was none so qualified as Shukadeva Goswami to recite the text of Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, anyone who follows in the footsteps of either the ideal reciter or the ideal hearer, Sukadeva Goswami and Maharaja Parikshit respectively, will undoubtedly attain salvation like them. Maharaja Parikshit attained salvation by hearing only, and Sukadeva Goswami attained salvation only by reciting. Recitation and hearing are both processed out of 9 devotional activities, and by strenuously following the principles either in all or by parts, one can attain the absolute plane. So the complete text of Srimad Bhagavatam, beginning with the Janmadi Ashya verse up to the last one in the 12th canto, was spoken by Shukadeva Goswami for the attainment of salvation by Maharaja Parikshit. In the Padma Purana, it is mentioned that Gautama Muni advised Maharaja Ambarisha to hear regularly Srimad Bhagavatam as it was recited by Sukadeva Goswami, and herein it is confirmed that Maharaja Ambarisha heard Srimad Bhagavatam from the very beginning to the end as it was spoken by Shukadeva Goswami. One who is actually interested in the Bhagavatam therefore must not play with it by reading or hearing a portion from here and a portion from there. One should follow it in footsteps of great kings like Maharaja Amrisha or Maharaja Parikshit and hear it from a bona fide representative of Shukadeva Goswami. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat.
I think we'll stop here. We'll discuss because it's a big purport written by Srila Prabhupada. Quite a lot point to discuss. We'll discuss tomorrow. Devotees can share your comments, anything today, please. You want to start? Asha Mataji or start? Yes, Asha Mataji, able to hear me?
Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay. Start. Mataji. Any comments?
I understood nothing much to tell Prabhuji.
Okay.
The one thing I understood, Bhagavatam cannot be studied by self. One should, it should be done under a guru or a realized soul or the disciplic successor. That is important because in anything one has to study, there should be a guru. So Bhagavatam is also not like that it can be studied by self is what I understood. So it has to be studied systematically under the guru. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Avinash Prabhu?
Nothing, Prabhuji.
Mariappan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Uh,
Hearing and speaking Srimad Bhagavatam must be the topmost assignment in my life. And one must work and serve under learned devotee to learn Srimad Bhagavatam. And it should be learned systematically, like post-graduation medical science. It should be thoroughly learned, and it should be practiced, and it should be preached. And Supreme Lord is person. I am different from my body. Soul is always active. Super soul is also always active. That much I have understood, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Shri Mataji, anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam. A Bhagavatam should be learned by a learned guru who is very well versed in scriptures, and he should be bona fide. From disciplic succession, we should hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada gives a very good example. A medical student cannot study his medicine at home. He should go to a proper medical college for practice and all. So like that also, we should hear Bhagavatam from a proper guru, proper speaker. then Krishna is not impersonalist. And here it says, second verse, a strong impersonalist can also become a devotee if he hears Bhagavatam from a proper, with the devotion and from a proper speaker. Then we should be like Sukadev Goswami, who preaches, and like Maharaja Parikshit, a good hearer. We should be like that. When we hear Srimad Bhagavatam from such devotees, we definitely get salvation. Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna Mataji. Sudhavati Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Yes, as everyone said, listening from a guru is very important, because like one of my colleague earlier, like he was not from our dharma, but he read Bhagavatam and interpreted in a very wrong way, Bhagavatam and Ramayanam. So I would like to, tell that incident. Like he said, when after reading Ramayanam, he said like, Rama, since he has to bring his wife back, I will give respect to a person who is very powerful. But your Rama, he took a help of many vanaras, and he has, has to bring his wife so that, no, he's not very powerful, that's why he has taken the help of so many vanaras. That is his interpretation. Now we can understand how important it is to know and learn everything from a guru, because everyone, cannot interpret it in a correct way. That is what I felt. Of course, I have given him the answers, like how you have to, like how the story is all, I have explained to him. But there is very much danger, like people might interpret in a different way. So learning through a guru is very important. That is one thing. And coming to Sukadev, yeah, he stayed in his mother's womb for 16 years, afraid of this Maya. So here it gives the inner meaning, like how it is dangerous if we get affected through this, Maya. If we fell in trap of the Maya, then there is no hope of progressing in spiritual life. So that the inner meaning is this. That is what I felt. So we should be masters of these senses, but not slaves to the senses. So that is why Sukadev Goswami, once he takes assurance from Krishna that Maya is not going to affect him, then only he comes out. So we should be careful on that. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Saurabh Prabhu, anything on that?
Hare Krishna, Bhagavatam. Such a wonderful class. Thank you so all senior Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas for the beautiful explanation. And one is very important. Basically, in, what we say in our language, a counselor is very much important. Whatever you understand, okay, doesn't matter in whatever field you are, what is you are doing a job or business or whatever kind of uh, um, work you are connected with, a guru, an idol, to be up mantra is must be important in your life. And secondly, questioning. Basically, just before me, one Mahatma narrated the story of one of his colleagues. So he actually, without any kind of ups and down thinking, he only gave the statement. Lord Ramadit has taken the help of these huge vanaras. He didn't question. He said why he has taken the help of the vanaras. Something he read and without any second thought he gave the. So questioning is very much important. Whatever way is possible, questioning is very much important. Art of learning is very much important. Because when you learn, only after that when you grow. So it is very much important. It is also, and it's possible when we are in the path of our devotional growth and spiritual upliftment. So, it's essentially asking, questioning is a very much important. So that's why I understood in this chapter, in this class, and so far from me, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
All good to Prabhupada.
Varsha Mataji, anything on that?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, nothing much. Thank you for the class. Actually, like I understood today the story of Sukhdev Goswami, that he had born at the age of 16, and he came back only after. I mean, he walked away from this material world even after being born. only after hearing Bhagavatam, he came back. And in my life, that should be my topmost goal or activity, Prabhuji, hearing or listening or anything related to Bhagavatam, that too from the spiritual master. And if I have to progress in this journey, I should have a proper guru who is following and doing all those practice, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Uma Shankar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So there are lots of takeaways from today's class. It was very good. Thing is that Krishna is a person. So thing is that we should actually believe that Krishna exists and he is a person and we can interact with him. First we should be trying to understand our Swarupa. What is his relationship with him? So that is the main thing that we can get connected. That can be done only through our devotional service. And another thing is that the all the living entities which are there, they actually I think that they are fully surrendered. So even if an ant, he is also getting fed by Krishna, but only the human beings have that thinking power. Might be they don't have that connection with the Krishna. They lost that one and again trying to regain it. So they are still struggling. Most of them are struggling that what will happen next. But I think that in this thing, animals are more fortunate than us because they don't think, and I think they are also getting surrendered. I think so, Prabhuji. And next is that personal swarupa that we want to realization. That one passage from the Science of Self-Realization, I could remember that one person asked Srila Prabhupada that can you see the God like that? So first that we should develop that qualification to see the Lord. So that is one thing that I can remember. And next is that reading of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So one thing was I can understand is that first earlier I used to try to read Srimad Bhagavatam. I was not able to understand anything. So thing is that this should be heard from the person Bhagavatam. Then only we can get understanding. It can't be done as a self-study like any other material subjects, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining. So this Saturday we are planning for Melkote trip. Those who want to join, please let us know. I know the others, those who are far away, difficult, but those who are in Bangalore want to join, please join. We will end here. Vancha Karpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namah Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare